today I am going to be showing you this new villager trading hall thing that I designed. I am very prideful on the fact that this is completely my own design. I usually copy other people's redstone builds. This is the first iteration. It was supposed to be super duper simple, but this design was plagued with issues. Sometimes what would end up happening is the minecart would go upwards and it would suffocate the villager and the villager would die. Another thing about this design is that you couldn't use it at dusk or twilight or whatever, as these daylight sensors would be activated no matter what mode you put them in. I logged off and I decided I need to make something better. That's when I came up with something similar to this. That was version 1 and this is version 4. In between version 1 and 4, there wasn't a lot that changed other than I added on the zombification chamber, this holding chamber, and I made it so that they're 3 wide and they can actually stack together and still work. Alright, let's go over how version 4 should work. First thing that you would want to do is you want to select the cell that you're going to manipulate. What you can do is that you can either take a villager out or put a villager in, and from there you can summon a minecart. There's a button on this side and a button on that side, and then after that the villager will end up in a holding cell, and there he will stay until you figure out exactly what you want to do with them. From here you can select which cell you want to put the villager in. You can select this one and it'll turn off that one, albeit a little bit slow, but it will eventually turn off. And then you can dispatch the villager minecart. This cactus will break the minecart that he's sitting in, and then he will go down here, and that's where he will live until you need to change anything. Alright, other than that, there are a couple more things that this machine is capable of doing. Now that you have him in the holding cell, there are a couple things that you can do. One of the things that you can do is you can send him over to the zombie villager converter. You want to have this put over to the right side, and then you can dispatch the minecart. And from there, he will be converted into a zombie villager. And after that, you can take him over to the curing chamber, and at the press of a button, you can give him weakness. And then here is a chest. You don't want to use a barrel. After he is converted back into a normal villager, you can dispatch him back to the holding chamber where you can decide what you want to do with him. Now from here, you can either put him into one of the many slots that you have available, or what you can do is if this guy for some reason has really bad trades and you just don't want to deal with them anymore, you can hit villager disposal. And what that will do is that'll open up a railway path to a lava pit where you can dispose of the villager without affecting the trades of any of the other villagers. You want to make sure that you're going to the villager trading array, and then that this light is on if you want to dispose of the villager. And if you send him over there, it will automatically turn this light off so the next villager won't also get sent into there, and it will automatically turn off any of the chambers that are selected. That way it is ready to go for the next thing that you want to do. Now other than that functionality, it's pretty easy to do a lot of other things, such as changing out workstations. It's nice and accessible right here, and as long as your villager hasn't been traded with, it will happily accept a new workstation and not target any of the workstations around it. Now, this machine is infinitely expandable. The only downside to having it this big is the speed at which this machine operates is quite slow. So as I was saying, this design is infinitely repeatable, and this is the 3 wide segment that you would repeat if you did feel like building it off into infinity. It could be more compact, but for me this is about as compact as I'm going to get it. Right here it has a minecart breaker with a minecart hopper that picks up the minecart as it breaks, and then afterwards the villager drops down and lies in this resting chamber. Back here is the redstone wiring for which segment should be on. What it does is whenever a segment is on, it gives it the ability to be powered off, and when you turn it on, it gives a redstone output. So what ends up happening in the bigger machines is all the ones that are on have the ability to be turned off, and the next one that gets turned on through the output that gets sent out turns off all the other machines. Down here controls all of the machines, all the segments, pardon me, to the right, and up here is all the segments to the left. This up here was the hardest part to figure out because I also had to make it tileable, obviously, but I am quite happy with the end result, even though it did add a lot to the end footprint of the build. I think it works out quite good. Down here, this water is absolutely necessary as it pushes the villager to the right, and it gives it the ability to be picked up by a minecart traveling by. This trapdoor is necessary, as if you remove this workstation right here, the villager would otherwise walk out. So this design is not compatible with baby villagers at all. So do not even try to put a baby villager in here. They'd probably just swim out and jump around. Another thing I want to mention is this fence gate is also necessary for the same reason, as it will block the water from coming out. Same thing with this trapdoor. These are just important for protecting all the redstone wiring down here, as well as letting you change out the workstations for villagers that are unassigned. I think we have covered everything there is to cover with this particular segment, and here I'll just give you a couple seconds to look at it if you're interested at all. Like I said before, there are world downloads as well as light maticas in the description, so don't feel like you have to pause the video to try and rebuild this. Also, if you are on Bedrock, this is not going to work. This is only for Java Edition, as it relies on some mechanics that are present in Java Edition, I think. Now, this machine is a work in progress, and as time goes on, I will be adding bug fixes and updates to it. But if you feel like building this machine, there is going to be a world download and a light matica in the description for you to use, so feel free to download those if this is something that you want to build. Please let me know what you think of this build in the comments, as it has taken me a long time and I am quite proud of it. And don't forget to like and subscribe, as it will really help my channel grow. But for the time being, thank you for taking the time to watch this, and I hope you have a nice night.